Hi, my name is Christopher Wurst. I'm the host and creator of SoftPowerful Stories. I started SoftPowerful Stories early in 2025 when it was becoming apparent that the U.S. was stepping away from its traditional diplomatic and development work overseas. After decades working overseas, I knew that the most meaningful parts of U.S. engagement with the world rarely make headlines. They live in personal stories, in friendships formed far from home, in moments of misunderstanding that turn into trust, and in the quiet, everyday work of showing up for one another across cultures. I also knew that many in America, through no fault of their own, knew very little or had misguided notions about overseas work. I felt an urgency to capture those stories before they were lost or written off. This podcast was never meant to be political or academic. It was meant to be human. A place to slow down, listen, and let people who practice soft power tell their own stories in their own voices. I also wanted to shine a light on practitioners of soft power for the last 60 plus years as the true heroes they are. Make no mistake, they help others worldwide, but they also make America great. To the guests of Soft Powerful Stories, the storytellers, thank you for your openness and your generosity. You shared moments of doubt and discovery, setbacks and small triumphs, and the kinds of human connections that rarely get measured, but matter deeply. Peace Corps volunteers, diplomats, aid workers, artists, scholars, activists, you reminded us that soft power isn't an idea. It's a relationship. It's curiosity. It's listening first. To our listeners, thank you for being part of this conversation. The enthusiastic reviews, thoughtful messages, and steadily growing audience have been genuinely heartwarming. And seeing Soft Powerful Stories expand into community radio stations across the United States has been especially meaningful. Proof that these stories belong not just online, but on shared airwaves in real communities. In a loud and often divided world, listening is a generous act. What this year has reinforced for me is that even when institutions change and policies shift, human connections endure. Stories still travel. Empathy still works, even if we have a lot of work to do. And we're not done. We'll be back in 2026 with more stories, more voices, more expert perspectives, and the same passion for engaging with people all over the world, one conversation at a time. So as we head into the new year, my gratitude is simple. Thank you for believing that engagement matters, that curiosity beats cynicism, and that everyone, yes, even powerful nations, need friends. But before we dive fully into 26, I wanted to offer the floor once more to the class of 25.
Soft
power.
Powerful.
Soft
Power.
Powerful stories.
Powerful.
Soft
Powerful
stories.
Hi, this is Steve Herman, the former White House bureau chief of the Voice of America and a retired Foreign Service officer. Season's greetings to all the listeners of the SoftPower FulStories podcast. It was a distinct honor to talk with Chris at this most challenging time for America's public diplomacy. We can only hope that in 2026 there is a change of heart and the need for a robust foreign service is again realized. Until then, to all my former colleagues, keep doing what you do best and know that your service is valued and appreciated, and it does contribute to making our world a better and safer place.
Hi, this is Pam White. I was ambassador to 2 countries, USA director to 3 countries, and Peace Corps volunteer once. I just want to tell you all that 2025 was not a good year for diplomacy and certainly not for development, but 2026 is going to be better and 2027 is going to be even better than that. So all of you that care about diplomacy, all of those that have practiced diplomacy, who have studied diplomacy, who want to do diplomacy, hang in there. A better day is coming. Your skills as diplomats are going to be so needed. Diplomacy has never been more important in the history of our country. So please, keep the faith. Love you all.
I'm Jack Seybold, a retired teacher.
I'm Sarah Seybold. I'm a registered nurse and served in the Peace Corps in Turkey. Jack and I met 60 years ago when I had just returned from 2 years in Turkey. 2 weeks after our wedding, we began Peace Corps training for Brazil and spent our honeymoon in an Amazon River town as a teacher and nurse.
We are grateful that our Peace Corps service has informed the last 5 decades of various service endeavors. For example, for 10 years, I was a volunteer at San Quentin State Prison.
And over the past decade, I was trained in hospice nursing and collaborated with a team of volunteers to open the only residential hospice home in Southern Oregon.
We would like to remind our countrymen that we are citizens not just of the USA, but of the world, with obligations to elevate our unfortunate fellows here and abroad, who are not, after all, very far separated from us.
Their benefit is ours as well. May we all engage and prosper.
This is Fred DeSam Lazaro at the Undertold Stories Project and PBS NewsHour, sending fondest wishes for 2026 to the listeners of SoftPower FulStories. 2025, as we all know, has been filled with upheaval in so many parts of the world, and who knows what the new year holds in store. I continue to invoke Archbishop Desmond Tutu, who said to me years ago, "I am not an optimist, I am a prisoner of hope."
Hi, my name is Warren Acuncius, and I worked in USAID's Office of U.S. Foreign Disaster Assistance and the Bureau for Humanitarian Assistance. I spent many years in Washington, D.C., but just as many traveling the world as part of disaster assistance response teams, and often as an instructor to the U.S. military on humanitarian best practices. As we wrap up 2025, I want to start by acknowledging that this has been a really hard year for many people working in foreign aid. A lot of dedicated professionals saw their work disrupted, and in many cases, their careers unnecessarily lost. That's not something to gloss over, and it deserves to be named. At the same time, this season gives us a chance to pause and reflect on what still matters: connection, understanding, and showing up for one another. Whether through diplomacy, disaster relief, or development, through our service with organizations like USAID and the Peace Corps, we're reminded that America's greatest strength often comes from partnership and empathy, not just power. And as we head into the new year, and maybe gather around a holiday table where politics might be discussed, I want to credit a very well-respected coworker of mine who recently quoted Ted Lasso and reminded me to be curious, not judgmental. It's good advice for diplomacy. Turns out it works just as well at the dinner table. Wishing you and your loved ones peace, rest, and optimism for the year ahead. Happy holidays.
Hello, my name is Julia Irwin, and I'm a professor of history at Louisiana State University. I specialize in the histories of international humanitarian aid and disaster assistance, and it's this expertise that I brought to the podcast in my episode this past year. I wanted to join all the other contributors in wishing everyone, audiences and really the world, a happy and most importantly, a peaceful holiday season. Wishing all of you the very best in the year ahead.
Hi, my name is Stephen Callahan. I'm a retired Foreign Service Officer with the U.S. Agency for International Development, or USAID. I'm also a returned Peace Corps volunteer. During this holiday season, I wanted to wish everyone a safe and healthy new year, but also I wanted to be serious for just a brief moment. The United States, in spite of having a few missteps along our journey of creating a lasting democracy, has always strived to be a generous and supportive nation. After World War II, which was my father's generation, our country helped rebuild not only the countries that we fought alongside of, but also those that we called enemies. I'm referring to Germany, Japan, Italy. All of them are now our friends and allies. We learned through programs such as the Marshall Plan, and also by helping to establish and support the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, the United Nations, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, and yes, the Peace Corps and USAID, that by helping other countries in need to grow and prosper and become self-sustaining, that we actually are helping ourselves. Over the course of the last 80 years, American tax dollars have saved literally millions of lives through our health programs and disaster assistance efforts. It has helped create sustainable democracies and solidify international friendships and create strategic allies and trading partners. Many of us found opportunities to be a part of these efforts in the Peace Corps, USAID, the State Department, and other U.S. foreign affairs agencies, international aid organizations, and yes, even through our military services. And that's really what Soft Power Stories is all about. Diplomacy, defense, and development can and does work in support of each other. So let me leave you with a thought from our former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff and Secretary of State, Colin Powell. We live in a dangerous world and a world of opportunity. Increasing our diplomatic and development resources is absolutely critical and money well spent to deal with the dangers and seize the opportunities. So to everyone, have a happy and successful New Year.
Hi, my name is Roland Merullo, and I'm here because I worked on USIA exhibits in the former Soviet Union between 1977 and 1990. I was there for a total of 29 months. And those programs were intended to break through the Iron Curtain and give Soviets some sense of what life in America was like. What's really sad to me is that I used to say to Soviets, I used to brag about our freedoms and our protections, and that we couldn't be arrested without due process, and we couldn't be punished for things we said. And now, sadly, I see that some of those things are no longer true in the United States. So I just want to say I really strongly have hope that that will change. I completely believe in the American experiment and the strength and wisdom and goodness of most American people. And I feel like the tide is already turning and that we're going to get back to the imperfect but pretty good country that we once had. And I'll do everything I can to help that happen. And I just thank you for Christopher for the opportunity to say this and participate in your great project. Thanks a lot.
Hi there. I'm Betsy Small, the author of the recent book Before, A Story of Discovery and Loss in Sierra Leone. In my book, I delve into my 30-plus year friendship with farmers in a small rainforest village that began with the Peace Corps. Tragically, 4 years after I left, in 1991, their community became the epicenter of a brutal and so-called Blood Diamond War. While examining the roots of this conflict and its impact, I also uncover personal themes of family, culture, and shared global history. This writing process and my work overseas has taught me that true freedom knows no borders, and that every community is capable of offering safety in surprising, even unexpected ways. I believe that soft power means strategically shaping one another through our shared interests and connections, and not through force. My message for your listeners in 2026 is this: we can only grow beyond ourselves when we become immersed in lives different from our own. Engaging with the complexities of different cultural and political systems, even untangling them, is essential work for all of us, possibly even more now than ever. Connections across diverse groups, histories, and beliefs feed a hunger we all have for a richer, fuller, more connected life. Soft power is built on authentic partnerships that go beyond transactions, travel, or study abroad, though these are valuable too. It takes genuine investment of time and emotion to bridge communities. To safeguard our communities, we must all step outside them and connect with others. Addressing rates of poverty, disease, and environmental and technological challenges of the future requires Americans to embrace our discomfort and to engage anyway. When we dig into the complexities of cultural and political assumptions, we often find ourselves questioning our beliefs. This is part of the process too.
Many in Sierra Leone risked everything for political reform, just as many in America are doing today. Such challenges necessitate daily resolve and long-term commitment, as well as an appreciation for each other's lived experiences, even those we might not agree with and may never fully understand. We have so much to learn from one another's histories and cultures that can't be fully grasped within our insular American context. In this century, home has transformed. It's not just a place, it's an understanding forged by diverse stories. As Nigerian writer Ngozi Adichie warns, there is danger in a single story, and I believe there is even more danger in having a single house of understanding in the world. It's essential to acknowledge all of our different histories as separate and complete truths. Only when we listen to the stories of those not like us and with experiences unfamiliar to our own can we begin to listen, meet, and genuinely care for one another. Looking back at history adds depth to our lives, but sharing experiences face to face is key to finding common ground. Our soft power connections can lead us forward with hope, courage, and even love in the most surprising places. Thank you, Chris Wurst, for helping us amplify our stories when they're needed more than ever. Happy, soft, powerful Story New Year to all. Thank you. Bye.
Hello all, this is Keith Mines, former diplomat with the State Department and peace builder at the U.S. Institute of Peace, big supporter of the Soft Powerful Stories project. It's been a rough year for soft power as the U.S. brand that's the baseline for our soft power has taken quite a beating. But one hopes that the image of the innate goodness and generosity and values of the American people will survive our current troubles and continue to provide us with soft power that will be a force for good in the world. And I appreciate the work that Chris and the Soft Powerful Stories project is doing to try to accentuate that and the importance of soft power to America's place in the world and to the good that we can convey to the world. Throughout my career, I've met with young people across dozens of countries and continue to find in them, despite their legitimate frustrations and grievances, a sense of hopefulness and energy. And I hope that one of the shifts we see in the coming years is a generational one. From warlords to civil society, from corrupt political actors to democratic stalwarts, from transactional leaders to youthful visionary leadership. And I hope that America's soft power will be deployed to support this generational transition. Wishing you all the best in the new year. Keep the faith. Signing off, Keith Mines. Thanks.
Hi, this is Florence Reed. I'm the founder of Sustainable Harvest International and Mandela, and I got my start as a Peace Corps volunteer in Panama. I'm back today to wish you all a soft but powerful new year. I'm sure you've noticed there are still many hard realities to face in our world, but I hope that all of us can focus on the fact that there are even more examples of people taking a softer, gentler approach to how we relate to each other, to other creatures, and to our planet as a whole. For 35 years now, I've had the good fortune to build meaningful and fruitful relationships with small-scale agroecology farmers around the world who walk so softly on the earth while creating powerful benefits for humanity and the planet that we all share. So I wish you all a happy 2026 with many opportunities to support the farms that contribute to your health and the health of our planet as a whole. Let's all resolve to use our soft power in the coming year to get one step closer to the world we want. Happy New Year.
This is Mark D. Walker, Peace Corps volunteer in Guatemala, Overseas Development Program Manager, Executive Fundraiser, Consultant, and Adventure Travel Writer. As we turn the page into a new year, I find myself reflecting on the power of stories, how they shape our lives, our legacies, and our connections across borders. My own story began more than 50 years ago when I met and married a Guatemalan girl. That moment was not just the beginning of a multilingual family, but the beginnings of a lifelong journey into cultures, languages, and relationships that have defined who I am. The Peace Corps was the catalyst. It opened doors to experiences that taught me that soft power The ability to connect through empathy, service, and storytelling can be more transformative than military might. It is through listening, sharing, and building bridges that we create lasting change. Years later, I founded my company, The Million Mile Walker, as a platform to keep that spirit alive, to promote international travel, literature, cross-border relationships, and social justice. Writing became my way of carrying these stories forward. My 3 books, woven into what I call the Yin and Yang of Travel series, celebrate the duality of travel, the outer travel of discovery, and the journey of transformation and reflection. For me, the pen is my God-given gift. It allows me to honor the people I've met, the places I've walked, and the lessons I've learned. But each of us has our own gifts. As we step forward into the new year, I invite you to think about how you can use your gifts, whether it's your voice, your art, your leadership, or simply your presence, to spread the love of travel and the appreciation of other cultures. Because when we share these gifts with our friends, our colleagues, and our families, we amplify the chorus of connection. We remind ourselves that we are part of something larger, a global community striving for a more peaceful, verdant world. So my reflection on this new year is simple. Let us carry forward that stories that connect us. Let us honor the legacies and service of compassion. Let us continue to walk, whether a million miles or just across the street, with open hearts and open minds. That is the essence of soft power. That is the legacy of the Peace Corps. And that is the invitation I extend to you as we begin this new year together.
Hello, this is John Cebra, perhaps one of few guests on the Soft Powerful Stories podcast that is still a Foreign Service officer. Currently, a human resources officer, but for most of my career, I have done public diplomacy. In 2026, I will be retiring. So my stories will be coming to a close, but our goals of promoting mutual understanding and explaining our society and our policies to foreign audiences will go on. I would like to wish every success to those that remain in the Foreign Service and that will continue, correct, revise, replace the work that I have been blessed to take part in. May you have your own soft, powerful stories to tell in the future.
Hello, my name is Michael Varga. I'm a former Peace Corps volunteer and a retired diplomat. In 1995, when my health was in great jeopardy due to age, doctors told me my life expectancy was just 18 months. Of course, we had no effective treatments then, but medicine and science teach us that sometimes knowledge advances to turn the impossible into the feasible. I'm still here 30 years later, an AIDS survivor and also a cancer survivor. Even in darkness, we are drawn to find the light.
Greetings, I am Noelle Ojo, a former Democracy and Governance Foreign Service officer with USAID, and wanted to just give some holiday greetings and reflections. I will say that 2025 started off, a lot of words come to mind, loss being one of them, losing a career that I loved after 19 and a half years of service, losing a community of professionals and colleagues that I also greatly appreciated, losing direction, professional direction, and if I'm honest, confidence in what do I do next? My career was a huge part of my life because it was more than just a career for me. But As the year went on, I accepted it. Life happens, and in reality, a lot of it actually is not personal. And I remember that I control my destiny, my choices, my efforts will create the life that I will ultimately live. And so then it brought in a new word, new beginnings. I have a new career, went back to something that I had put away years ago. So I'm grateful to have that opportunity. New direction, new focus. Was able to narrowly define what it is I actually want to do and move in that direction. And so now I'm ending the year, going into 2026 with anticipation about what the new year will bring. I now have a blueprint for things that I'd like to accomplish, people I'd like to see and hug and spend time with, some personal goals and, including losing those 20 pounds and planning on going on an alumni cruise and just enjoying my life, because if nothing else, 2025 reminded me that nothing is guaranteed. Life does go on. We can make it a beautiful one. So as we step into 2026, remember that oftentimes, good things come to an end, but good things can begin again. And it's up to us to make that happen. And we will. We will. Life is good. And 2026 is going to be amazing for all of us. Happy holidays.
This is Louis Lucke speaking from Costa Rica, wishing everybody a really happy holiday season, Christmas and New Year's. Hope that everyone's doing well and that you're feeling good about yourself and about your situation and hopefully the world. This is a wonderful place. You can possibly hear the tropical birds in the background. I hope that everybody has a prosperous 2026 and that maybe you get a little closer to family, turn off those devices, thank God for the good parts of your life, and let's play it forward and see what positive things we come up with.
Hi, my name is Denise Deneaux, and I served as a Peace Corps volunteer in Temuco, Chile from 1977 to 1979. At that time, Augusto Pinochet was the cruel dictator of that very beautiful and formerly democratic land, a country that has since returned to democracy. What I experienced is that despite an oppressive and very frightening political environment, the people were generous and courageous. Humanity encompasses a wide range of expressive languages. I, at the time, was learning both Spanish and Mapuche. Every language is a portal to cultural thinking, which is also expressed through their music, dance, religion, and food traditions. And I found celebrating and learning these varied traditions and ways of viewing the world was fascinating and a joyful experience in human connection. The hospitality and generosity I found in a distant land, and especially among the materially poorest of people, surprised and very much touched me. It was really foreign to my suburban and reserved upbringing. Hatred is really a child of fear and ignorance, and the opposite of love may be indifference. Connecting with people of distant cultures succeeds in generating trust and friendship, even love, that spans distance and cultural divides. This experience informed my life going forward, and I am very grateful for every moment spent among the warm and engaging people of southern Chile. I suspect that's true wherever one travels with an open spirit.
My name is Ben East. I'm a retired Foreign Service officer and returned Peace Corps volunteer. I wanted to reflect on what 2025 meant for me and how this podcast contributed to it. primarily, it was being asked to participate forced me to sit down and think about what my career had meant. It brought to mind an essay I had begun working on probably 15 years ago about how Peace Corps, my career as a public diplomacy officer for the State Department, telling America's story to the world, what had all of these things really done for the United States? And frankly, it comes down to how it improved me as an individual and gave me the confidence to really push beyond boundaries. As I prepared to participate in the podcast, I developed a better draft of that essay. I was pleased with it enough that I wanted to share it in the Virginia Writers Club annual Golden Nib contest. Just last month, learned that the club awarded me the first place in the nonfiction category. That essay is titled Mr. Mediocrity's Great American Novel. It's up on my blog, beneastbooks.com. The second thing that made 2025 extraordinary was that I was accepted for publication. My book, it's a book titled Profiles in Service, and it looks at the careers of Peace Corps volunteers who went on to serve as ambassadors and how had the one experience informed the other. And this is important in 2026 as the Peace Corps looks to celebrating 65 years of service around the world. It's the United States' 250th birthday, but it's the Peace Corps' 65th birthday. And I'm very excited for Profiles in Service to be published. So I want to thank this community again, and it's great to be a part of it. I applaud Chris for this incredible initiative. You all inspire me, and please keep it up. Keep up the great work, and have a great 2026. Thank you.
This is Evelyn LaTorre, a former Peace Corps volunteer to Peru, wishing you a happy 2026. By living in other cultures, you learn a lot about your own. By writing about your experiences in your memoirs, you develop empathy for yourself and for others. I've written 2 memoirs. The first is about my 2 years in Peru in the Peace Corps. It's called Between Inca Walls, and the second is about marrying a native Peruvian, and it's called Love in Any Language. Happy New Year!
Happy New Year, everyone. I'm Skip Waskin. I was a USAID officer for 37 years, and Christopher Wurst was kind enough to ask me to share some of my experiences with USAID in Zaire and in Afghanistan on the wonderful Soft Powerful Stories podcast. I've listened to almost every episode of that podcast series, and I've been enormously impressed by the diversity and the sheer excitement of the stories the guests told. All of us worked in jobs that epitomized America's use of its soft power overseas. All of us faced great challenges. Some of us faced great danger. And all of us did our best not only to help the people of the countries where we were working, but also to assure that our work benefited the United States. And I hope that our experiences help convince our audience, including Christopher's skeptical Aunt Deb and those like her, that indeed it was worthwhile for America to spend time, to spend effort, to spend money overseas, even when we still have so many problems at home. The stories we all told really represent our life's work, and I know we all believe that work was worthwhile, and I hope our listeners do too. Now, of course, the podcast looks to the past. Now, the challenge for all of us is to look to the future. I hope our experiences will help inspire another generation of young people to pursue a career of international service. Even though the foreign assistance landscape has changed dramatically and probably irreversibly over the past year, there are still many ways to serve and many ways to inspire others to serve. I think this podcast will help provide many young people with that inspiration, and I'm proud and grateful to have been a part of it.
Merry Christmas from your favorite Aunt Deb. And yes, we can still say that here in the United States. I hope you can say it where you live. Here's to a new year, and may I find more understanding, because I've got to be honest with you, I'm still pretty confused most of the time.
Hi, this is Carl Henn talking to you from sunny Padre Island National Seashore in South Texas. I am a former global health professional who worked mostly in Africa fighting HIV/AIDS as well as malaria. Now I'm currently retired and fighting boredom. I wish you a Merry Christmas. Hope you get what's on your wish list. I hope that it's not too dismal, and a happy midterms.
I'm Christopher Wurst, the host and producer of SoftPower FulStories. Until next year.